Hello, how you doing?
Hey Jim, how are you?
I'm just fine. I'm just fine. Let me change the the Chiron. Oh, that's taking me back.
Sorry, I had my Mark Zuckerberg Band-Aid covering it up there.
That's funny. This it's two television channels in a row.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, man. I'm horrible with first names, and I've forgotten yours already. I so apologize.
Anthony.
Anthony, that's right. There we go. Well, how are you this evening, my good friend?
Hey, I'm doing well, Jim. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I was serious about that. I'm loving your videos. It's it reminds me of the car crash videos. Oh, we got the kids. How you doing?
With, yeah, we got some visitors on us real quick. Thank you very much, Jim. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Watch that with her, okay? You want to say hi? Say hi to Jim real quick, okay?
Hi.
I told him I'd let him say hi to you real quick too.
That's fantastic. You guys are darling.
I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Opposite sides, so I'm like,
Yeah.
why is the camera
Yeah, it is. Just sit here real quick then, okay? All right.
It's good to see you guys.
It is good to see you as well too, Jim. Kind of go impromptu on you real quick, but yeah,
Hey, no
I really
problem.
appreciate the compliment on the videos as well too. And
Oh, you're welcome.
I've been watching the last couple nights, even when you were with Andrew from Busha Studios, and then
Mhm.
also you guys were covering the topic and also chatting a little bit with Wisco Style as well too. And man, that's great information, and it's really good. There's a channel like this to hear this stuff as well. You know.
Oh, thanks, man. I don't know that I see it as my duty, but since I know so many people now who are going to be affected by it, I thought it was time to talk about it. Absolutely, and I hope you guys got a lot out of that. I really do.
I know I did, and like I said, I know I'm probably wearing a tinfoil hat as well too. But I was interested to see your whether that showed up in your recommended videos or not too. So it's interesting, like you said, the different perspectives on why or why not. Because I'm sure I know you said you've been doing analytics with Google since 2004. Your two-part videos normally probably kind of roll right in as far as with suggested and recommending the way you tag them, correct? Or
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Hmm. And it wasn't Google Analytics actually didn't come in till later. It was AdWords that I was dealing with, but same thing applies. We were actually using a whole lot of like web trends for our analytics at that time, or several different clients. So, but yeah, doing the entire marketing and the and paying attention to website analytics has been a part of my life for a good long time. So a lot of this comes natural, but
after I heard you say that, I kind of wanted to jump inside of your brain for a little bit, because that's one area I wish I was a little bit more educated in. Was I'm learning as I go with some of that. So
sure. Well, did you have a question, or maybe we can?
I hear I call them the how-to ShamWow guys. The Brian G. Johnsons, the channels and all that. But they, I've noticed that sometimes there's a discrepancy in a tool that I use to check my actual search ranking on the YouTube platform that I've gained from these links that I found on the internet, and then the actual vidIQ or TubeBuddy or whatever the tool is says that it is. And it seems like it's kind of instilling some false confidence into creators, because to me it appears like it's using you logged in and searching that. So of course you're going to kind of get a boosted
like inflated numbers is what you're saying.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret, and it's really not a secret, but even if you're tied into, and I'm going to use Google because they're the 800-pound gorilla in the room.
Right.
They own YouTube. They've got their fingers into that algorithm like crazy, which is why YouTube videos show up in Google search results now. Google does not give away all the information. They simply won't. Whether you're tied in with an API or not, don't let anybody fool you. They will not give that information away. And the reason they don't is because people can use that information usually for, dark purposes, right? To their advantage.
Right.
So what they do is they they give you an approximate for most of the things. You'll never find out exactly how many people searched for chocolate cake in a month.
Right.
You just won't. And how that would stack up with any others as well. So what you're seeing is if some of those stats companies aren't literally just doing some harvesting, in other words, they're
right from the AdSense or Google Ad.
Yeah, well, yeah, that or literally just as a browser harvest, right? So they're just looking at it as though a browser, and you can tell there's a lot of things you can tell behind the scenes from that, but you'll never get the exact numbers. Or they're using the API. You can tell that the modes are different in that a lot of the same information you should see on vidIQ and TubeBuddy are different. That's why.
Okay.
That's absolutely why. So what I've done in so many years now, is I take them with a grain of salt, and I also average them. I never rely on one source, and then I'll average them. And that's the best you can do, right? And that'll give you an approximate number. And let's say you're looking for a specific keyword. You make a how to bake chocolate cakes video. Mm. And you want to rise in the algorithm, or you want to rise on let's say you did a web page about it. You want to rise in the SERPs in Google, right? The search engine results pages. Well, then you would find out from several different sources how many people search on that, like per month. You little stinker. We see the rabbit ears.
I'm trying to point it out. This at least.
But yeah, I'll take those different.
No.
What's that?
Still got another one.
Yeah. Sweetheart.
We got two more.
Let's finish this sentence.
Two more? Okay. Yeah. Let me finish the thoughts, sweetheart, and then we'll let you do whatever Dad says you can do. But yeah, I'll take that number and it'll be an average, and I'll use that as my expectations. Let's say I say I want to bake a computer mouse cake, and I'm using a really bad example of something that no one would search on, right? Or I bake a cake with lights in it. I know that baking a cake with lights in it is going to get more hits because that just seems like something somebody would search for, but nobody's going to search on the computer mouse, right? So then I would alter. I don't want you to miss this.
No, I'm not. I'm
okay.
Fully sorry. I was just kidding.
No, that's okay. I would literally alter my search engine optimization efforts to follow those keyword phrases that most people are searching on, right?
Yes, sir.
And it's very much the same thing you see on those the ShamWow channels, in that they'll say, type it in the drop down and then find out what variants, because those are the things that people are searching for. That's absolutely true. That's a poor man's way of doing it, and it works just fine for a lot of people. But when you're really serious about website optimization, and even should be serious about this, you've got to find out how many people are searching on keyword phrases that are relevant to your content, and then use those to your advantage. So.
And I was gonna say, do you see a difference as far as search volume for the short tail versus long tail, or is it really just depend on the category?
Well, the problem with short tail is there's so much competition for it.
Yes,
yeah. There's always going to be more. Well, I should say always, but 9 times out of 10, there's going to be more searches done on a broader term, and especially a single term. But you have to weigh the danger there. Let's say I sell shoestrings. Well, do I want to bid on or even optimize for the word shoe? No, because these are people who aren't looking, may not be looking for shoe strings. They're looking for sandals. They're looking for shoe stores. They're looking for shoe glue. They're looking for shoe polish. I'm wasting my time trying to look at, get those people, especially if I'm paying money for it. So what I'll do is I'll try to find something that's specific to shoe strings, several phrases that are specific to shoe strings. Then I'll target my content and or my ads toward that. See, that probably illustrates it better than anything else I could have said.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, the broad terms, you miss so many people trying to go after
feel
those
like
broad
that's
ones.
especially true in gas station TV, because I believe that we touched on this the last time we spoke. Is
Did we?
you would want, in my instance, to put a gas station, because you'll get someone who's looking for the find the nearest gas station instead. So
Yeah, now I remember we did cover that.
yeah.
I talk about this a lot, so forgive me if I repeat myself.
It's great information, and like I said, whenever I heard that the other night with you and him, and if I can't stress it enough, if any of you guys that are watching right now in the chat haven't seen that, definitely go back and check that out. Like, it was great information for us, and it also kind of makes you question what direction that YouTube is going for us content creators, and especially for us that are. I feel like I'm almost on that fringe sometimes with some of the things in the category that I am as a content creator right now. Is when's YouTube going to look at me and say, I don't like the way that you're shaming those shoplifting thieves. Let's, we're going to demonetize you, even though that's, not a part of my realm anyway. And also really inspired how you said, hey, you wouldn't take the super chats and the monetization from YouTube too. So kudos to you for that, Jim.
Thank you.
You're right on, man.
Yeah,
one last thing.
Sure.
I know your time is really important. When you and Wisco Style were talking, you really brought up something that's I've been scratching on as well too. So I have one video. YouTube is just pushing the hell out of it, Jim. It's the cash scam one that I have, and likewise, I've got I was looking at it before I came on here, about a 67% retention rate on that is what it is. And then, I think it's like 31 subscribers gained. It's nothing really, monumental or popping, but, and a 5% click-through rate as well too with it. But I'm also still kind of struggling and looking at the analytics and questioning what is it that the algorithm likes that I'm doing, but, do you have any advice or your take on that?
Absolutely. Are you hooked up to Google Analytics with your channel?
Like you said, I am, but I'm still not educated on it.
Okay.
I'm linked, but also too seems like it wants me to buy some ads. I tried setting up the Google ads as well too, and kind of shoved me right into the ads.
Yeah, it will want. You don't have to buy ads.
Yeah.
not to have either an AdWords account or a Google Analytics account. Of course, they're going to try to push you in that direction because it makes some money. But
shove me right in there.
Yeah. Well, what happens is that you'll be able to look even at even more distinct. Even in YouTube Analytics, they'll show you keywords that are popping. And if you're not using Google Analytics, and this is for most of these other people, or if you don't know how to use Google Analytics yet, use that to your advantage, because what you'll find is you'll find the search terms that are actually most productive for your videos.
Yes, sir.
And you can actually and this, I'm going back to the poor man. I know you're not a poor man because you know a bit more about this than most, but you can actually use that keyword phrase that is really popping for you, throw it in the search and see if anything else falls down. Right? That's the easy way to do it. But yeah, that's what you're actually talking about, is like, all right, suddenly it's popping. That means that somehow I'm showing up in searches or the algorithm.
It's pushing it through suggested videos. I would say that almost 80% of the watch time for that video now is coming from YouTube algorithm pushing viewers into that.
Yeah, and something that I never talk about, and I've known for a while now, is that we all know that the YouTube algorithm will feed you videos like the videos that you have watched, right? So you can also go in incognito and start watching some of those videos and see if you show up. And the ones you show up next to, look how they're optimized. This is actually pretty powerful. And if I had time, I'd go into it more. But you can actually look at those videos, see how they're doing. If they're blowing up, then you can absolutely see some of the keyword phrases they're using, and that's why they're blowing up. And since you're so similar, that's why you're showing up next to them. And you can even do that before you show up next to them, to be honest with you, because I can't think of a good example here because that's not what this show is about. But if I was going to, let's go back to the chocolate cake. If I was doing chocolate cake how-tos, and I started seeing it increase, and I started noticing that I was either showing up in the algorithm or in searches or next to, recommended. I'd start looking at those that surround me. And even if I wasn't being surrounded, I would do searches on chocolate cake, see who shows up first or recommended, find out what they're doing right with their keyword phrases and whatnot, relevant to the content, because never ever, and I can't, this isn't directed toward you, Anthony, never ever, please people, don't use keyword phrases that are not relevant to your content. That's another type of clickbait that I deplore.
Well, Logan Paul's the #1 search on YouTube, Jim.
Yeah, I know. Got to have that in your tags, I guess. But you see, that's the thing. That's why tags are going to go away. Like meta keywords went away because they're rife with abuse. So, and that's why popularity actually came about. Popularity came about as a valid search engine result key indicator, because they couldn't rely on people's content. They're stuffing them with keywords, non-relevant keywords, after the keywords went away. So that was kind of a natural thing. It was going to happen anyway, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah, certainly. Well, and like I said, it's so difficult for us as creators to nail down what the algorithm wants. So like you said, I know that, of course, our bottom line is always going to be on enjoying what we do, being, good content creators. And at the end of the day, that's what's going to trump everything. But all of us anyway, we have that creator spirit. We're always kind of churning, going, well, man, what makes this thing tick? How can I do better?
Oh, well, we're all hungry to get our content out in front of people that we think would enjoy it. Absolutely. And that's one of the reasons we do this, right? Because it's rare to find somebody who would create a video, put on a flash drive, and then just toss it in the garage. You know what I mean? So, well, dude, thanks for so much for coming on.
Very much, Jim. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, no problem. Next time you come on, we'll do a deep dive. I'm getting back into the deep dives now that we're kind of getting away from a little bit more serious subjects.
I wanted to tell you, I really I support your decision to move on with topics as well too. I think that's really going to help you grow in your brand as well too. So kudos to you on that, man. I know it's not going to be the most popular choice with everybody, but and like you said, you're still doing the channel deep dive. So kudos to you, man.
Yep. Well, thanks. Thanks, dude. you, the whole family. Have a good evening. All right.
Thank you.
You bet. Talk to you later.
Bye.
You too could be a guest on this show at any time. We're live every weeknight, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you've got to do is hit that subscription button and ring that bell right now. Oh, and while you're at it, why not share this video? I'm sure my guests would appreciate it. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you live.